All right. So I really, really need to quit gig work, don't I? I mean, uh, but the thing is, though, is that the only difference between this and getting a regular job is the time that I would spend. I could spend probably less time and make about the same amount of money, and then I wouldn't get the tax benefits. But then I could get maybe some medical benefits, but then I would make even less money because you gotta pay the premium on the benefits. And so I mean it's kind of a it's a pros and cons kind of thing. Anyway, so let me give you an update. What happened Tuesday is I had done that delivery block for $108, and then I had two deliveries that I was waiting for the tips to come in. Well, the tips came in, and it ended up being $61. So for Tuesday, I ended up making like $169. Long day. It was my bleak day, but you know what? Wednesday ended up not being so far not that much better. But it was started off at 3:30 in the morning, where I got offered a block from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. and I was like, what? What? Uh, Whole Foods doesn't even open till 7, so how is that out? But you know what? I said, what the hell? I'm going to take it anyway. And so I did, and I got to the store, and sure enough, there was four deliveries there for me at 6 a.m. I was like, okay, cool. I'll just do it. And maybe when I get back, there'll be some more. And then I made it back to the store because they were all like 20 minutes apart, which is kind of a drag sometimes. So by the time I got back to the store at 8 a.m., I had already driven like over 100 miles, which is like truck driver miles. Usually a truck driver drives, a couple hundred, $250 miles in a day. At least I did when I drove a dump truck. Um, but anyway, so then I got back to the store and I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and nothing came up. And then finally it was a 11 to 1 grocery block. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll take that. Even though I'm having to wait around. So I waited from 8 till 11 to be able to do that. Uh, the waiting. The waiting is the hardest part, right? And trying to find out what to do with your time during that time is not always easy. So then I did that, but the problem was is that when I got it at 11, there was just the first one was only one delivery at 11. And so I had to go do that, and it was like a half hour away. And then when I got it delivered, it said, "Oh, head back to the store." So I did, and I was like, so now I just driven an hour round trip, and then I got three more deliveries, and I delivered those, within a short period of time before 1 o'clock. But then now I'm at 1 o'clock, and my next delivery was scheduled from 4 to 7:30 for $114. So here I am on Wednesday with two $30 base pay deliveries under my belt, and then I'm going to do this $114, and I won't know until Thursday what the tips on that are. I always look forward to that because it says you can make up to $57, and one time I made like $90 from a 2 hour grocery delivery block, and I was like, yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it doesn't happen every time, but it's nice when it does happen. So I'm hoping that I make at least $50 from each of those. So that'd be like another 100, but I won't know until Thursday. So anyway, um, after all this, the best thing I can hope for is working on creating this passive residual income, and it's going to take some time because at some point, um, you know, uh, I'll be able to replace my gig work earnings with my passive residual income earnings, and then I can quit gig work. I can't wait. Quitting gig work. That's what it's all about. But you can't do that from trading time for money. I mean, if you quit gig work and then you go get a job, you're just back in the same old grind. I mean, trading your time for money. You've got to find a different path to create income, and multiple streams of income is probably the best option. And I I'm working on building multiple streams of income right now. Um, and I'm kind of just near the beginning of it, so it's going to take a little while, I think. But if you want to know more about what it is that I'm doing, just click on the link in the description and the pinned comments of this video. And I hope you got something out of this video. And I can just say that one of the things that really helps me to get my mind right is you know um, doing shifts in my mindset instead of like, oh, I have to do this, It's, I get to do this. And you can feel in your body what the difference is in when you say, oh man, I have to go do this, I have to go do that. Oh man, I hate having to do that. And you shift it and you say, oh man, I get to go do this, and get curious about it and get excited about it. And even though, there's a part of you that's like, not wanting to do that at all. But if you just do your best to shift your mindset in that way, you'll actually feel the difference in your body. So anyway, I'll give you an update on Thursday of what's happened and with the tips from Wednesday. All right. And I will see you again soon.